And I'll give you two reasons why truth really matters. Number one reason is because truth has consequences. Truth can be a matter of life and death. Friends, the point is, if we believe something that's false, there can be big consequences for our life. But there's a second reason why truth matters. It's that truth is a compass for life. It's only when we know and we live and we proclaim truth that people can experience real freedom. Let's do that together.
Alta Farm's proposed industrial wind complex footprint covers approximately 12,000 acres of prime DeWitt County farm ground, requesting for up to 66 turbines with a height limit of 599 feet. So how tall is 599 feet? It'd be about 10 stories taller than those turbines to our south near Maroa. For reference, the St. Louis Arch is 630 feet.
This particular wind farm will interfere with the weather radar in Lincoln, Illinois, and can cause missed or delayed tornado warnings for DeWitt County. The lack of advanced warning when minutes are critical could cost us lives. Tradewind twice redacted, that is hid from view, important information regarding the placement of the turbines in proximity to the Lincoln radar and its mitigation zone. This proposed wind farm has a combination of factors that will increase its risk significantly, including being too close to the radar, being built on high ground compared to the radar, having among the largest and tallest turbines available today, which act to obscure the radar's view, and with population centers immediately adjacent to the wind farm area, giving residents little time to react and seek shelter should a tornado emerge from the footprint. This combination of factors poses the greatest threat. No other wind farm in the country exists with this combination of serious factors.
Tradewind has an entire section in the application that they are calling conditions, but what they really are variance requests, which is basically their way of trying to get around some of our rules and regulations in terms of timelines of when things need to be due. And typically variances go through an entirely different approval process, but they're sneaking them in under conditions to try to avoid that.
When comparing the increased noise levels between SUP number 1 to SUP number 2, 92% of the increased noise levels in Tradewind's second application are for non-participating residences.
66 wind turbines will take 84 acres of prime DeWitt County farmland out of production, damaging the world's food supply. At 210 bushels of corn produced per acre, that's a loss of 670,000 boxes of cereal. Over the 30-year life of the project, we lose 20 million boxes of cereal. And if you convert this loss throughout Illinois, we lose 844 million boxes of cereal. 210,000 tons of concrete should not replace the valuable farmland that's needed to meet the world's food supply demand.
The application for Alta Farms 2 is incomplete. It is missing 4 required leaseholder signatures. It is missing any proof that a lighting mitigation system has been pursued for installment. It is missing a decommissioning plan written by a mutually agreed upon engineer and approved by the county board. The county has requested this information repeatedly from Tradewind, and they have repeatedly refused to comply.
When you compare the first rejected application to the so-called improved second application, 78% of the non-participating residents with some shadow flicker actually saw their numbers increase with the second application. Alta Farms has gone on the record as saying that 30 hours per year is the industry standard, and yet their application has 19 families above that threshold. One family has over 58 hours of expected shadow flicker per year.
This project will not provide many local jobs, if any. According to the application, there would be 20 local jobs available. At the ZBA hearing, it was stated there would be 12 jobs available. Research shows, in reality, there would be 1 job for every 10 turbines, which is 6 jobs. These were highly specialized jobs, and therefore no locals will likely qualify.
This project may pose risks to the Mahomet Aquifer and affect our wildlife. This developer did not provide vibration data for wind turbines as required in the special use permit, so the engineering firm's analysis is useless. If Alta Farms wind project is approved, Aerial magnetic survey of the aquifer cannot be performed. The aquifer was designated as a sole source aquifer by the EPA. It must be protected. Risk of compaction and contamination is too great.
DeWitt County Wind Ordinance requires that wind developers pursue FAA approval of an aircraft lighting mitigation system. ADLS is currently the only approved such system. It would keep the annoying red flashing lights off 95% of the time, only triggered when a low-flying aircraft is detected overhead. A FOIA has proven that Alta Farms 2 has not yet pursued FAA approval of ADLS.
Tradewind's application states that all of the wind turbines and the tax revenue generated from them will belong to the Clinton School District. But did you actually know that 5 of the wind turbines belong to the Olympia School District?
It is evident through access to public land records that leases are being signed which indicate additional phases of wind projects in DeWitt County. This is all the more reason to establish responsible practices with handling wind energy in DeWitt County.
Despite Tradewind's constant lie, evidence repeatedly proves the majority of the community opposes this wind project. It's evident in the number of speakers who present at public meetings, and the same is true with attendance at hearings. Never have proponents outnumbered opponents. The polls support this conclusion as well. DeWitt County opposes this project.
Curtailment is the proposed solution Tradewin has offered in order to ignore the threat that the turbines will interfere with early weather warnings. Think about this. We must see a tornado first and have a warning issued, and only then curtail the turbines? The central issue is that the turbines interfere with the radar's ability to detect severe weather in the first place. That's the issue Tradewin is trying to duck. If a warning is just issued for adjacent Logan County, for instance, the threat could move into and impact DeWitt County residents before the turbines are even shut down. Tradewin attempted to get a curtailment agreement from the National Weather Service, but those efforts stalled when the National Weather Service required that the agreement be a legally binding document. Tradewin Energy has not produced an agreement with the National Weather Service. In fact, the National Weather Service is the authority on such matters, not the county board. Further, the National Weather Service states no curtailment agreement has ever been exercised for severe weather, which begs the question, just how useful and feasible is a curtailment agreement to begin with? Curtailment is certainly not the solution.
An unsupported narrative exists that DeWitt County needs an industrial wind complex because the Clinton Power Station will soon shut down. There's no factual backing to that argument. In fact, the Clinton Power Station has a lot of life left in it. There's room for a second reactor, and experiments are showing promise for the nuclear waste to be used. The Clinton Power Station is a carbon emission-free plant. It takes 1,500 turbines to create the electricity that's produced right here.
Is Tradewin's application complete? No.
Has the applicant Tradewinds provided sufficient burden of proof to approve the project? No.
Does Tradewind's application meet the 6 criteria for approval? No.
And therefore the RPC's recommendation to the county board was no.
Did the ZBA, after hearing 51 hours of testimony, recommend to the county board approval of the special use application? No.
Should the DeWitt County Board approve the special use permit application from Tradewin Energy for Alta 2 wind farm? No.
No.
No!
No. No.
No.
No.